going to have the introduction. Well, good evening, everyone. I am going to call this meeting to order. This is the December 14th, 2022 meeting of the City of Pasco Hearing Examiner. My name is Andy Kottkamp, and I've been appointed by the City of Pasco to serve as a land use hearing examiner. My job is to render decisions and, in certain cases, recommended decisions on various applications that are authorized to come before me, which include special permits and variances and zone changes. That's what we have on the agenda for today. Now, I consider any testimony and evidence presented at tonight's hearing, as well as all the written materials that are already on file, in order to make the decision. The hearing process has certain rules, but I will try to conduct the meeting in a relaxed and informal manner, but we still have a procedure that we're going to use. Obviously, we'll take each item separately. For each item, staff will present their report and make whatever recommendations that they wish to make. Then the applicant or the applicant's representative is given an opportunity to present their testimony and evidence. The applicant does have the burden of proof to show compliance with all of the applicable rules and regulations. Then if there is somebody from the public here tonight that wishes to testify, I will give you that opportunity. And if there is any testimony in opposition to the project, I will give the applicant an opportunity to submit whatever rebuttal testimony they wish to make. Because the applicant has the burden of proof, the applicant does get the last opportunity to present testimony and evidence. Now, if you are going to provide any testimony tonight, I need to have you go up to the microphone that's there in the hearing room, and I'll have you state your name and your address for the record, and then I will swear you in as a witness. I would ask that you keep your testimony relevant to the specific application that we're talking about, and not to any other issues beyond the scope of the proposal. And if you have anything in writing that you want to submit tonight, we can make those arrangements. I do have the opportunity to keep the record open if I think there's a need for additional written testimony to be submitted. But in any event, my written decision will be made within 10 working days after I close the public record. Now, I have reviewed, we have two different kinds of hearings on tonight. So for the special permits and for the variance, I make final decisions. Those decisions are appealable. They are appealed by means of what's called a land use petition action. They have to be filed with the Franklin County Superior Court within 21 days of the date of the issuance of my decision. And if the appeal is not timely filed, the appeal would be barred. Now, we do have two zone change items on the agenda for tonight. I make recommended decisions on those. My decision is not subject to an appeal. My recommendation will go to the City Council. The City Council will hold what's called a closed record hearing, and then they will review the record at this hearing, and they will make the final decision as to whether to approve or not to approve the specific request for a zone change. I've reviewed all the items on tonight's agenda. I don't have any interest in any of the properties or the proposals to be heard tonight, and I'll be able to fairly and objectively consider each item. And then outside of receiving and reviewing the staff report for each item, along with all the application materials and noticing documents, there's site photographs for all of the projects, noticing documents, agency comments, public comments on some of the items. Other than receiving and reviewing the entire planning staff file for each of the 8 items that are on tonight's agenda, I've not had any communication regarding any of the items. So with those representations, if there is anybody here today who objects to my participation as the hearing examiner for any item on tonight's agenda, if you have an objection, you need to go up to the podium at the hearing, in that hearing room, and state your objection at this time. All right, seeing that nobody is moving, I am going to go to the first item on today's agenda. This is, as I indicated, a special permit. This is given application number SP22-016. This is a request for an event center in the C1 zoning district on property located in Pasco that is more specifically described in the staff report, as well as in the application materials. And I presume Mr. Adams on this one, but I'm not sure who's going to get. We'll turn it over to staff for their presentation.
This is Kelsey Bean speaking.
Hello, Ms. Bean.
Hello. As stated, this is for the Vasquez Event Center special permit SP 2022-016. It is located at 2302 East Lewis Street in Pasco, Washington. The site is zoned C1 retail business, and the site is currently developed with a 2,520 square foot commercial structure. The site was annexed into the city of Pasco in 1971 and assigned industrial zoning per resolution 1209. The site was rezoned in 1994 to R2 and again in 2013 to C1. The site contains approximately 1.14 acres, and as stated before, the request is by Margarito and Vasquez Torres, wishing to operate an event center in the C1 retail business zoning district. Public notice of this hearing was sent to the property owners within 300 feet of the property and to the Tri-City Herald on October 19th, 2022. According to PMC 258540, number 6, dance halls require a special permit in a C1 zone. Dance hall means an enclosed space where public dances are held and where alcohol or food may be sold. Event centers can be classified as dance halls, classified with dance halls or nightclubs. PMC 25-185-171 requires 1 parking space for every 100 square feet of floor area. The total parking requirement for this center would be 26 spaces rounded up from the 20 square foot. There are currently 13 parking stalls, and the lot contains sufficient room for more parking spaces. The maximum permissible noise level must not exceed the EDNA outlined in PMC 9-130-40. And that is all the basic information I have for this one.
All right, thank you very much, Ms. Bean. Is the applicant present and able to testify tonight? Yeah, just come on up to the microphone. I'll have you state your name and address, and then I will swear you in as a witness.
To push this. Okay, sounds good.
Oops, you pushed it off again. Can you turn it back?
Oh, okay, so I had to let it go, right? Pushing, let it go. Yeah, my name is Margarito Vasquez Torres. And
How do you spell your first name? Is it Mario or Marego?
Margarito.
How do you spell that?
Let me give my son to help me. Just give me a hand. How you spell that?
I just want to make sure that I have it right.
It is Margito.
And the last name, the 2 names?
Vasquez Torres.
No, Vasquez.
All right. Thank you very much for coming up. Mr. Vasquez Torres, I'll have you raise your right hand for me, okay?
Okay.
And your son can stay up there if you want to help him out with anything.
Oh, okay.
I'll have you raise your right hand for me. Do you swear or affirm under penalty of perjury that any testimony you give tonight will be the truth?
Yes.
Yes? Okay. So you are here on behalf of, I imagine, on behalf of the applicant, or you are the applicant, is that correct?
Yes.
All right. What would you like to tell me, sir?
Quiero abrir un community center.
I would like to open a community center.
It's a good location.
It's
buena locación
It's a very good location
para la persona que vive alrededor.
For the people that live around it.
Pueden hacer yard sale
They could do yard sales.
o como cumpleaños,
They could do birthday parties.
no alcohol.
And no alcohol.
Es como para 50 o 80 máximo personas.
And it is for 50 to 80 people max.
No hacer, el local es 2,500 pies.
The local is 2,500 feet.
So, para un evento para familia
So for a family event,
sería excelente.
it would be excellent.
Mi plan en un futuro,
My plan in the future is
construir
to build
centro comercial.
a community center.
En este momento,
In this moment,
el banco
the bank
está trabajando muy despacio conmigo.
is cooperating very slowly with me at the moment.
So, me gustaría si me dieran la oportunidad de abrir este lugar como para familias.
And I would like to
Ya, lo que fue, lo que
I would like to ask if y'all could
como para centro para familias.
to allow it to be a place where to celebrate and all that
Celebrate what?
for family events.
Events.
To celebrate family events, parties, etc.
Right, I understand that. Yep.
Yeah.
Sir, do you understand that there are conditions for your operation of this business if it's approved?
Dice que si entiendes que hay cosas
Sí.
que tienes que. Yes.
And one of them is that you have to have 26 parking sites on site. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. Is there anything else that you'd like to tell me, sir?
He visto otros locales abiertos en esa misma condición.
Mm-hmm. I've seen other places
Business like I wanted to open right there.
that have opened right there as well.
Eso que sería todo.
And that'll be it.
Okay. Thank you very much for coming tonight. Have a good night.
Thank you too.
We'll turn this over to the public now. Did anybody from the public come to testify on this matter? I don't see anybody coming up. Ms. Bean, is there anything further from you?
No, there is not.
All right, thank you. Mr. Vasquez Torres, I'm going to close the record on this hearing, and I'll have a written decision made within the next 10 working days.
Thank you.
We'll turn now to the second item on today's agenda. This is also another special permit. Let me get to the right page of my materials here. This is an application, given application number SP 2022-018, and this is a request for an auto body paint and repair shop on property located within Pasco that is more specifically described in the staff report as well as in the application materials. And just for the record, I will admit at this time into the record that staff report, all the attachments to the staff report, which included all the application materials, the site plans, site photographs, noticing documents, comments that have come through. I will admit all those items. Indeed, I will admit the entire planning staff file into the record at this time by this reference, and turn this matter over to, I believe, Mr. Adams for the staff presentation.
Thank you, Mr. Examiner. For the benefit of the viewing audience, this is Master File SP, which stands for Special Permit 2022-018, Matthew W. Martin for MWM Custom Automotive Auto Body Paint and Repair Shop. This is located at 1320 West A Street as seen on the exhibit. Parcel number 112-292-074, and it is zone C3, which is general commercial. The site contains approximately a quarter acre, and the applicant wishes to utilize an existing 9,810 square foot building for an auto body paint and repair facility. Public notice of this hearing was sent to property owners within 300 feet of the property and posted in the Tri-City Herald on 28 November 2022. As per Pasco Municipal Code 25.100.042 subsection 2, auto body shops require special permit review in the C3 district. As well, auto body uses are regulated by Pasco Municipal Code 25.165.200 subsection 1. Also, as per Pasco Municipal Code 25.165.200 subsection 1, auto body uses require an IBC approved spray paint room or a booth. And those are the highlights of this report.
All right, thank you very much. I don't have any questions. I've reviewed everything. This is a pretty straightforward proposal. Is the applicant here today? I see somebody standing. Why don't you come on up to the podium, and I'll have you state your name and your address for me.
Address for the business or?
Just an address for the record. It can be you don't have to give out your personal address if you don't want to.
Matthew Martin, 2304 Snohomish Avenue in Richland.
All right, Mr. Martin, I will have you raise your right hand as well, as we did last time. Do you swear or affirm under penalty of perjury that any testimony you give today will be the truth?
I do.
All right, thank you. And you are the applicant. Are you also the property owner?
I am not the property owner. I will be leasing the property.
All right. What would you like to tell me about this project, sir?
Well, I read the staff report, and the first and foremost, which is important to notice, is that I won't be leasing the entirety of the property. It is the west side. In the pictures you could see 1320A, so it is not 9,800 and some odd square feet. It would just be the 3,400 square feet on the west side of the property, away from the residential area. So that's important to notice. As well as going through the EPA and Clean Air Act. For whatever it's worth, I'm also, as an automotive painter, actually quite environmentally minded and have more than exceeded the requirements for the Clean Air Act as is necessary to put together a as healthy environment as possible for the refinishing of vehicles.
So the interior of the building then must be divided by a wall, and you're only going to be operating
Correct.
on one half of it?
Yep, it's been divided by walls, and he's actually gone so far as to actually just completely use concrete and bricks and mortar and everything to fully separate the two sections.
All right. We'll make that note in my decision. Did you have a chance, Mr. Martin, to look at the proposed conditions of approval that were in the staff report?
As far as I went through quite clearly the EPA and the proposed conditions as far as I could see. It was a little bit broken as far as the zip files that I wasn't able to open for some reason. But yes, no, everything that I was able to read is easily accessible and was already in the plan to comply with the requirements necessary.
Yeah, generally speaking, you have to just comply with the Pasco Municipal Code.
Federal codes, yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, you know the drill. You've done
do.
this before, so.
It's we don't do nice things. We use volatile organic compounds, not exceeding 950 gallons per year. I'm just one guy running the show. I focus on enthusiasts. There are an excess of body shops that focus on insurance jobs, but there's not a lot of people for the out-of-pocket crowd, and we're short. The Tri-Cities is short on body shops at the moment. Most of the body shops are booked out by 4 to 6 months, so found a niche and hoping to move forward with it.
All right. Like I said to Mr. Adams, it's a pretty straightforward application. Do you have anything else you'd like to add?
I'm fine with that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. We'll turn this matter now over to the public. I know there's not very many people there. Is there any member of the public that wishes to testify on this? All right, seeing none. Mr. Adams, anything further from staff?
No, sir.
All right, then Mr. Matthews, what I'm going to do is I am going to close the public record portion of this hearing. I will have a written decision out for you within the next 10 working days.
Okay, great. Thank
Turn to the next. You're welcome. Have a good night.
You too.
Turn to the next item on tonight's agenda. This is also another special permit application, given application number SP 2022-019. This is a special permit for the Vargas event center or dance hall. And I'm going to admit into the record the staff report, the site maps and photos, the noticing documents, the SEPA documents. There's a petition by the neighborhood on this matter. I'm going to admit all those items. Indeed, I'll admit the entire planning staff file into the record at this time by this reference. And if I'm correct, I'll turn this matter over to Ms. Bean for the staff presentation.
Thank you. As stated, this is for the Vargas Dance Hall special permit, SP 2022-019. The property is located at 801 South 4th Street, Pasco, Washington. The site contains approximately 9,583 square feet. The request is by Jamie Vargas. I'm sorry, is it Jaime or Jamie?
Either one is fine.
Okay, I'm sorry. Okay. Jaime Vargas wishes to operate an event center. It does state dance hall, but there was a request to change it to event center.
Correct.
In an I-1, which is light industrial zoning district. Public notice of this hearing was sent to property owners within 300 feet of the property and the Tri-City Herald on November 16th, 2022. According to PMC, Pasco Municipal Code 2585-46, dance halls require a special permit in an I-1 zone. PMC 25-185-171 requires one parking space for every 100 square feet of floor area. There is an existing 3,200 square foot building that will be used. So for that, it would need 32 parking spaces. There are currently no parking stalls on the site. And the current existing site does not contain quite enough space for 32 parking stalls. The lot is surrounded mostly by residential housing, and as stated, there is a petition from neighbors against the use of the property as a dance hall. The maximum permissible noise level must not exceed the EDNA outlined in PMC 9-130-40. And that is all I have for this one.
All right, thank you very much, Ms. Bean. I heard the applicant in the background. Is the applicant ready to proceed?
Yes.
I'll have you come on up to the microphone there and state your name and address for me.
Jamie Vargas, 4602 South Fisher Place, Kennewick, Washington. That's my residence. And
All right, Mr. Vargas, I'm going to swear you in real quick. Do you certify or declare under penalty of perjury the laws of the state of Washington that any testimony you give tonight will be the truth?
yes, I do.
All right, thank you. And what would you like to tell me, sir?
What I'd like to tell you about this property, 801 South 4th Avenue, it's a new building that I'm constructing. I do not have enough spaces there, but there's a house, and there's a property south of 801 South 4th Avenue that I'm proposing to buy it if I get the special permit for the event center. I will have the parking space requirement. And also, as the city of Pasco requires, every dance hall, whether it's 50, 100, or whatever, if there's any dance, it requires fire sprinkler systems, which that building will have a fire sprinkler system, and it will have the parking requirements. if I get a special permit with the contingency of course, meeting the regulations of the city of Pasco, which I will do anything to meet them all. And obviously, if I don't meet some of those requirements, I won't be able to use it as an event center. And the other thing, as far as the noise that they're claiming, I can assure you, and I can test it, that the noise out of that building is going to be much less than the train when the train goes around. That place is very noisy when the train goes around, and if I'm not able to prove that the noise coming out of that place, it's less by a lot than the noise that the train makes, I'm willing, don't give me the permit for the special permit. I think those allegations are really not valid because, like I said, the train makes much louder sound than the noise that will come out of that building. And the property south of my property, I know the city and those people, they're in conflict, and I would like to get that property so everything is fine, so there's no allegations, and having I will help the city by doing that because I'm beautifying that place. You can look at the buildings, you can show the pictures. You got pictures there? You can show it's a brand new structure, sir, and it's got an 8-inch wall, and it's all going to be insulated with foam insulation and blow-in insulation on the walls. So I can assure you that noise is going to come out of the building when the dance hall it's in function. It's going to be far less than the noise that the train provides. And also, that place is only going to be used on Friday and maybe Saturdays or Sundays on the weekend. When if anybody drives by there on a Saturday or Friday, there's no traffic at all. I know she didn't mention anything about traffic, just in case, but it's a prime location, and there's really no traffic during that time, and it will bring taxes to the city. And I talked to the neighbors. I heard that there's somebody that's opposed, but I talked to the neighbors. I didn't bring any letters, but I can come back with evidence. All the neighbors are very happy to do that I can get the property south of it and develop it instead of being a dump. Because if you look at the property next door, it's just people dump trash and it makes it a dump. And if I get the opportunity to get this special permit, the whole place is going to be beautified, and it's going to bring, like I said, it's going to bring more revenue to the city of Pasco. And I don't know who's against it, but I talked to the neighbors. Everybody seems to be very excited. And like I said, I'll be happy to bring the letters from the neighbors. I didn't bring anything.
Well, tonight's the night for the hearing, so this would be the time to do it. But I understand your position, and the train goes by and it's gone in, just to let you know my perspective, it's gone in 10 minutes, maybe 15 minutes, and the music from a dance hall would be going on for, generally continuously for several hours. So it's not really apples to apples comparison there. So at least in my perspective, but I'll think about that. Is there anything else you'd like to add, Mr. Vargas?
No, sir. The only thing I want to point out, if they're concerned about the noise, whether it's coming from the music, what I'm saying, hopefully I'm not coming across wrong. The noise that is going to be coming out of there, whether at any given time, I can prove it that it won't be, not even, it's going to be far less than the noise is going to make it in 15 minutes or 20 minutes. you're not going to be able to hear anything coming out of that dance hall. That's what I'm trying to say. If the concern is the noise is the noise, you won't be able to hear it. Because I will build the door so you'll never hear anything coming out of there. So that's because that's what I hear here, the objection about the noise.
All right, Mr. Vargas, thank you very much. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
No, sir. The only thing I could like to ask, if I get the opportunity to bring the neighbors' letters with the approval, because I heard that there's somebody's discontent, and I wasn't aware of that. And because the people I talked to, they were really happy.
All right, we'll see what kind of public testimony there is, and then I'll make a decision on whether I'm going to keep the record open, okay?
Thank you very much, sir.
All right, is there any member of the public that came to testify on this project? Well, there's not very many people left in the room, Mr. Vargas. Is there anything further from staff?
No, there is not.
All right, Mr. Vargas, what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave the record open until this Friday at 5 o'clock. So that gives you tomorrow, Thursday, and then Friday to get those letters and to bring them to Ms. Bean at City Hall. And then they will become a part of the record, but they need to be in before her office closes on Friday. I'll close the record at that point, and then I'll have a written decision made. I'll review those as well as everything else that's in the record, and I'll have a written decision made within the next 10 working days. Okay? And
Sir?
I will. Yeah?
Is it possible? Is it too much to ask if I can, if you can give me until Monday, because some of the people are going to be working, and I can get them on Friday, and Saturday, and Sunday. That way, I can get those papers done. Can I get until Monday?
Yeah, that's
please?
reasonable. That's a reasonable request. So I'll keep the record open until Monday, December 19th, 2022 at 5 p.m. Okay?
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. All right. We'll turn to the fourth item on today's agenda. This is also a special permit application, given application number SP 2022-020. And this is a request for a co-location of a cell tower that relates to property located within City of Pasco, that is more specifically described in the staff report as well as in the application materials. And for the record, I will admit into the record at this time by this reference, that staff report, the site maps, the photos, the SEPA documents, there's noticing documents. I'll admit all those items. Indeed, I'll admit the entire planning staff file into the record at this time by this reference and turn this matter over to Mr. Adams for the staff presentation.
Thank you, Mr. Examiner. Again, for the benefit of the viewing audience, this is special permit 2022-020, ProLand LLC on behalf of Verizon, who wants to co-locate cell phone equipment on an existing cell tower located on the CBC campus. It would be a 20-foot extension of the existing 80-foot tower. This is located, as you can see on the map, on the southwest corner of the Columbia Basin College campus at 2600 North 20th Avenue. This site is zoned R1, which is low density residential. And the parcel itself is approximately 133.8 acres. However, the lease area is approximately 2,106 square feet. And they want to co-locate cellular communications equipment on an existing support structure. They're wanting to add 20 feet to the height of the tower and locate associated ground equipment in an existing storage yard. You can see that on the south view of the photos there. The public notice of this hearing, that's the equipment right there at the base of the tower. Public notice of this hearing was sent to property owners within 300 feet of the property and placed in the Tri-City Herald on November 28th, 2022. The comprehensive plan identifies the site for public, quasi-public uses, and the existing tower is located adjacent to the I-182 interchange and 300 feet south of another existing tower. You can see that in the north view there you just saw. The height of the elevated freeway interchange that you can see in the west view helps reduce the overall visual height of the tower. Cellular facilities may be permitted in the R1 zone by special permit, provided the tower is either attached to or located on an existing or proposed building or structure that is higher than 35 feet or located on or within a public-owned facility, such as a water reservoir, fire station, police station, school, county or port facility. And this meets both of those criteria. The equipment cabinets are located within a fenced area surrounding the base of the pole. Federal regulations bar the city from considering electromagnetic radio waves in the permitting process for cell towers or denying permits based upon concerns over electromagnetic radio waves. Cellular equipment creates minimal demands on city infrastructure. Typically, these facilities are serviced once a month, and so that would be the only traffic going to this site. And those are the highlights of this report.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Adams. Is the applicant or applicant's representative present?
Yes, I am. This is Derek Budig. I'm with Proland LLC.
Are you on the phone of some sort?
I'm on my computer, actually, do the webinar. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you. I didn't know if you were in the room or not. Okay, can you state your name? You kind of caught me off guard there. Can you state your name again for me?
Yes, my name is Derek Budig. I represent Verizon Wireless, a consultant. We are a consultant for Verizon. I'm with Proland LLC.
How do you spell your last name, sir?
Budig.
All right, I'm going to have you raise your right hand for me, and I'll take your word for it. Do you swear or
Okay.
affirm? Do you swear or affirm under penalty of perjury that any testimony you give tonight will be the truth?
Yes, I do.
All right, thank you. And you've already alluded to this, but you are here on behalf of the applicant tonight. Is that correct?
Correct. I'm the consultant for the applicant, which is Verizon Wireless.
All right, sir. What would you like to tell me?
Well, I mean, I kind of think it speaks for itself. There's an existing 80-foot tower. That's the current use. It's on a large parcel. There's a great separation from other uses in the residential zone. We're merely looking to co-locate add antennas to an existing facility. We're not changing the use. However, we would like to increase the height to maximize our coverage potential, which ultimately will minimize the need for additional towers in the area. It's just a matter of filling the gap in coverage to serve the highway, the college, surrounding residences, and recreational areas within this vicinity. I guess I went through the staff report as well, and I do concur with their findings. I mean, it's in line with the comprehensive plan, and I think we followed the protocol to a T. And I'm happy to answer questions, but I don't really know what else I can do to speak on behalf of this project.
Yeah, I have reviewed everything several times. I'm very comfortable with the application and the materials before me. There are some proposed conditions of approval. Conditions of approval. There are 6 of them. Have you had a chance to look at those?
I did.
And does the applicant have any objection to the conditions of approval?
Let me, can we put those up on the screen one more time?
Yeah, they're all quite simple. The permit applies to this parcel. The property will be developed in substantial conformity with the elevations and site plans submitted. Must comply with FCC and FAA regulations. It says the tower will be painted to a neutral color to blend in with the horizon. Permit is null and void if the building permit is not obtained by December 30, 2024. And the tower and all accessories must be removed within 90 days of discontinuation of the use.
Okay, I guess the only question I have, it's an existing tower, so does it conform to a color that is acceptable to this jurisdiction?
Yes.
I guess
Mr.
I'm not
Adams,
sure.
I will, is the color something that is at issue with the city at this point?
No, sir.
Okay, 'cause I just want to make sure there wasn't a stipulation that we had to paint it a different color or something, because typically we would get a painted tower from the manufacturer. 'Cause it's a lot easier to paint it during the production phase than it would be when it's up in the air. So
I understand.
yeah, as long as the existing color is acceptable, we have no qualms with the conditions.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Budig. Is there anything else that you'd like to add?
No, I do not have anything else.
All right, well, thank you very much for joining us. You're welcome. Is there anybody from the public that's here today that wishes to testify?
Don't see anybody.
All right, thank you, Mr. Adams. Is there anything further from staff?
No, sir.
All right, Mr. Budig, what I'm going to do is I am going to close the public record portion of this hearing, and I will have a written decision made within the next 10 working days.
Sounds good.
All right, have a nice night. We'll turn to the next item on today's agenda. This is a application for a variance. It's given file number HE 2022-004. This relates to property located within City of Pasco that is more specifically described in the staff report as well as in the application materials. And I will admit into the record at this time by this reference, not only the staff report, but all of those application materials, the site maps, the photos, the noticing documents. I'll admit all those items. Indeed, I will admit the entire planning staff file into the record at this time by this reference. And I'll turn this matter over to Ms. Bean for the staff presentation.
Thank you. As already stated, this is for the Alderbrook Investments lot coverage variance. The number is HE 2022-004. It is for a parcel located at 8601 Dusty Maiden Drive, Pasco, Washington. The site is zoned R1 low density residential, and it is currently undeveloped but prepared for the development of a single family dwelling. The site is a part of the Seven Sisters housing development. The site contains approximately 0.17 acres or 7,373 square feet. Alderbrook Investments wishes to have a variance to build a single family dwelling at 46% lot coverage in R1 low density residential designation. In R1, as per PMC 25450503, maximum lot coverage in an R1 zoning district is 40%. Public notice of this hearing was sent to property owners within 300 feet of the property in the Tri-City Herald on November 18th, 2022. Applicant is requesting a variance from the development standards within the R1 zoning district. Requesting 46% lot coverage. As already stated, what is allowed in R1 is 40% coverage. Variances are to be evaluated by the requirements of PMC 25-195-21. And that is all I have for this one, sir.
All right, well, thank you very much. Is the applicant ready to proceed?
The applicant is not here.
Was the applicant given notice of the date, place, time, and manner of the hearing?
Yes, they were.
thank you very much. Is there any member of the public there that came to testify on this one?
No, there is not.
All right, thank you. What I'm going to do then is I will close the public record portion of this hearing. I will have a written decision made within the next 10 working days. We'll turn to the first rezone application. This is application number Z 2022-017. This is a request for a rezone from R2 to R4 regarding property located within Pasco. I'm going to admit into the record at this time by this reference. As I've indicated, the staff report, the application materials, the noticing documents, there's site photos. I'll admit all those items. Indeed, I will admit the entire planning staff file into the record at this time by this reference. And turn this matter, looks like, over to Mr. Adams.
Thank you, Mr. Examiner. Again, for the benefit of the viewing audience, this is rezone 2022-017, Edward and Elizabeth Montez, for the rezone from R2, which is medium density residential, to R4, which is high density residential. This property is located at 131 South Cedar Avenue, parcel 113-900-066, which is along this east side of South Cedar Avenue, about a block south of East Lewis Street. The site is currently zoned R2 and contains approximately 4.86 acres of land. Applicant has applied to change the zoning here from R2 to R4 zoning. This was noticed. Public notice of this hearing was sent to property owners within 300 feet of the property and posted in the Tri-City Herald on 30 November 2022. The site was annexed into the city in 1994 and has been vacant since it was annexed. The land use element of the comprehensive plan designates the lot medium density residential, which is designed to allow for R4 zoning. And it may be developed with single family dwellings, patio homes, townhouses, apartments, and or condominiums. And those are the highlights of this report.
All right, thank you very much. Is the applicant here tonight? Doesn't look like anybody's coming up. Mr. Adams, was the applicant given notice of the date, place, and time of the hearing?
Yes, sir.
All right, is there any member of the public that's here on this matter? All right, so what I'm going to do is I am going to close the public record portion of this hearing,
Andy,
and I will,
Your
oh,
Honor.
yes?
I'm sorry. Apparently there's somebody online. It looks like they're self-muted.
I don't see it, so,
Don.
somebody online that wants to talk?
There is, Mr. Examiner. Ms. Thong, are you available? You appear to be self-muted. Okay, I think we're good. She's on now.
All right,
Yes.
ma'am, did you want to provide testimony tonight?
My concern is that.
Well, you either, if you want to provide testimony, then I have to have you state your name and your address, and then I'm going to swear you in as a witness.
Okay. My name is Linda Thong. I am a resident in Pasco, the house next to the property.
All right, and I'm going to have you raise your right hand for me. And do you swear or affirm under penalty of perjury that any testimony you give today will be the truth?
Yes.
Thank you. And how do you spell your last name, just so I make sure I get that right?
Thong.
All right, just like it sounds. All right, and what would you like to tell me then, Ms. Thong?
I do have a concern regarding to the property next door. If they are going to rezone it to condominiums or housing, whatnot, because our property is right next to it, we have a retaining wall. I do not know what will happen once that is rezoned, or if they're planning to do something with it.
Well, I don't know anything about the retaining wall. The rezone doesn't do anything for the retaining wall when the project, or if the city council approves the rezone, then there's gonna be an application to develop the property. If the retaining wall is on your property, then it's your retaining wall. And if the retaining wall is on somebody else's property, that's their retaining wall. But obviously a retaining wall is meant to retain something. So, but that'll have to be determined at the time that any project application is made. So you're good to follow up on it. You're good to be paying attention to these things. It's just not going to happen. The rezone is not going to impact the retaining wall, but whatever project comes into this, if the rezone is approved, whatever project comes in, that may impact the retaining.
Okay. Yeah, that's the only concern I have in regards to the property.
All right. Well, you can, you're good to follow this one along. It'll go in front of city council to make a final decision after they receive my recommendation. And then either a process will stop or it'll move forward after city council's review. Okay?
All right. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much for coming out tonight. Mr. Funfar or Mr. Adams, is there anybody else online that wishes to speak?
We don't see anybody.
All right, then at this time, then I will close the record on this hearing, and I will have a written decision made within the next, a written recommendation made within the next 10 working days. The next item on today's agenda is also a rezone application, given application number Z2022-018, and this is a request for a rezone from residential transition to retail business C1 relating to property located within Pasco. And I'm going to admit into the record the staff report, the site maps and photos, the application materials, the affidavit publication and noticing documents, the SEPA determination. I'll admit all those items. Indeed, I'll admit the entire planning staff file into the record at this time by this reference and turn this matter over to Ms. Bean for the staff presentation.
Thank you very much. As stated, this is for a rezone. It's the ICCU rezone, number Z2022-019. This is for a section of an existing parcel. Oh, I'm sorry. I guess I misstated the project number. It is Z2022-018. This is for a section of a existing parcel. It is the north half of section 9, township 9, range 29 east, parcel 116030027. It is located on the southeast corner of Road 68 and Three Rivers Drive in Pasco, Washington. The site is currently zoned RT, residential transition. And the site contains approximately 2 acres. The request is by Nicole Stickney of AHBL, wishing to rezone a portion of the parcel from RT to C1 retail business. Public notice of this hearing was sent to the property owners within 300 feet of the property in the Tri-City Herald on November 18th, 2022. The rezone is intended to facilitate the development of a financial institution. The rezone is located in the western portion of parcel 116030027. The site is surrounded by undeveloped land. The proposed zoning request is consistent with the comprehensive plan, which has been determined to be in the best interest of advancing public health, safety, and general welfare of the community. And that is all I have for this one.
All right, well, thank you very much. Is the applicant ready to proceed?
Yes, good evening, Mr. Examiner.
Good evening. Sorry to make you wait all night. It wasn't all night. It's gone fairly quickly. Just for the record, can you state your name and address?
Nicole Stickney of AHBL, 5809 Road 90, Suite H in Pasco, Washington.
All right, thank you. I'll have you raise your right hand for me. And do you swear or affirm under penalty of perjury that any testimony you give today will be the truth?
I do.
All right, thank you very much. And you're here as an agent authorized to appear and speak on behalf of the applicant and property owner, correct?
The property owner has consented to the application. I'm here on behalf of a contract purchaser, ICCU, which is Idaho Central Credit Union, and I'm here to speak on their behalf.
So you're not, the ICCU is not the applicant. They are just, I don't know what's going on. You tell me.
They are the contract purchaser. The land owners have consented to this application. They did sign the application with a notarized signature. And I'm the applicant as the agent on behalf of ICCU. That's who my contract is with.
All right, that's what I was trying to get at. You're here authorized to appear and speak on behalf of the applicant, correct?
That's correct.
All right, now, what would you like to tell me?
First of all, Mr. Examiner, I'd like to thank staff for their preparation of this staff report, as well as their recommendation of approval on this to you. We concur with the findings and information contained in the staff report and appreciate staff's recommendation of approval for the rezone. As stated, we are requesting a rezone of approximately 2 acres from the RT residential transition district to a C1 zoning district. The underlying land use classification in the comprehensive plan does show that this property should be developed with what's called a mixed residential and commercial designation, and there are several different zoning districts that can implement that, and the C1 zoning district is one of the implementing zones. I would point out that the current zoning on the property RT does not implement the comprehensive plan. So if the rezone goes through, that will be great because then the property will be in alignment with the comprehensive plan. Also, for the record, I wanted to point out that there are multiple businesses in this area that contribute to a vibrant and important retail district in the area. There's goods and services to support the community needs and sustain the healthy local economy in this area. We believe that the infill development at this site will be appropriate and will provide a community benefit if the rezone is able to go through, the property transfer is able to go through, and then development of the site occurs by ICCU for financial institution. I also wanted to point out that the rezone will allow that commercial use to occur. The current agricultural land use has long been expected to transition to other uses. This is a very intensely developed part of the city, surrounded by a mix of commercial and residential uses. There's ready access to infrastructure to support the desired commercial development. We feel that the change in zoning from RT to C1 will be positive impacts for the community and will not be negative in terms of any impacts to public health or safety. Further, the effect of the value and character on the adjacent property will be improved. The proposed zoning is consistent with the comprehensive plan, whereas the current zoning is not, and we believe that the goals and objectives of the comprehensive plan can be realized through this change. The last thing I wanted to point out is that this was given a SEPA determination of non-significance by the city with no concerns moving forward, and we're prepared to go forward with the development applications once the rezoning goes forward. So we're asking tonight, Mr. Examiner, for your recommendation of approval, and we will also be asking the City Council for their approval of this request. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much for coming in tonight. I don't see anybody in the hearing room, at least I haven't noticed anybody. Is there anybody online or anybody in the room that wishes to testify?
No, there is not.
All right, thank you. Ms. Stickney, I'm going to close the public record portion of this hearing. I'll have a written recommendation within the next 10 working days. The only other item that we have on the agenda is a zoning determination that I understand is to be continued, ZD 2022-003. And Mr. Adams, what is the status of this project?
Yes, this has been continued on a technicality. We sent the notice out stating that we were contemplating RS20 rezone or zoning determination, and we're actually in the report looking for an R1 designation, and so we had to resend that notice. And so we're planning on or scheduled to take that to the 11 January 2023 hearing.
So do you want me to continue it on the record at this time so that there's no need for any further notices to be published?
Yes, sir.
All right. So we're here on ZD 2022-003. This has been duly noted for hearing today. And the request by staff is to continue it to cure a technicality in the staff report. I'm going to grant that continuance. So on the record, I'm going to continue this matter to the regularly scheduled Pasco hearing examiner hearing date of January 11, 2023 in the new year. So that will be taken because I have continued it on the record at a duly scheduled hearing and duly noticed hearing. There should be no need for any additional notices to be submitted. That's all I had on the agenda for today. Mr. White or Mr. Adams or Ms. Bean, is there anything else we need to discuss tonight?
No, there is not, Mr. Examiner. Thank you for your service this year, as usual, and I hope you have a great Christmas season.
I'm going to have a wonderful Christmas season, and you will have my annual report by the end of the year. I promise that. All right, thank you. Well, there's no other items on today's agenda. I'm now going to adjourn this December 14th, 2022 meeting of the Pasco Hearing Examiner. I wish everybody a very wonderful and warm holiday season, and I will see everybody next year. Take care.